just give the people a brief introduction of who are you? Who is Heidi Hahn?
Okay, Nasha, thanks for having me on again. I'm a poetess, a writer, short story writer, a mother, and a wife, and a proud South African.
Okay, so with regards to your writing, when and how did you start writing poetry and short stories?
Okay, I started writing in 2020, and I've been writing consistently since then. So, but my first short story was in 2024, I think. I think it was 24, yes. And then this is now the second short story in this 2025 anthology.
Okay, so outside of the multi-marketing anthology, I've mentioned that you've been published 4 times, but I also understand you have been published outside of multi-marketing. Can you touch on that a little bit as well?
I've been published in Echoes of Meta and as well as Blended. It's a initiative with Marilu Boyson and a Colored In Girl Blended edition. So there's 2 other books, and then the 4 anthologies are these. And then 2 of my poems were accepted in the APA Poetry Competition in 2021. I think it was, yeah.
Yes, and the Avbar poetry competition is quite a popular one. So for all authors, I've seen most of them come into the anthology. They've come through that competition as well. Now, this year, for those of you who follow multi-marketing, you know in previous years we only allowed up to 2 poems and 1 short story. However, this year we expanded it to allow poets to publish up to 10 poems and up to 5 short stories. And Heidi Hahn has taken advantage of the opportunity with both hands. She's published a full 10 poems featured in the multi-marketing anthology, as well as 1 short story. So that is quite impressive that she managed to put in that much of work and push it out and publish it out. But as I understand, you had a lot of poetry stashed up over the years. Maybe you could walk us through that a little bit.
Okay, I've actually got a collection, a poetry collection, so plus minus 700 poems on my laptop, and yeah, I'm still busy sorting it out to put it into collection format, and I'm hoping to publish with you soon, no shy.
We'll be looking forward for that as well. So coming to the poetry and the short story featured in the multi-marketing anthology, I'm just going to run through the titles. Maybe you can give us an idea of, where your headspace was at through some of these poems. So for those of you who are looking to purchase a copy of the multi-marketing anthology this year, here are the list of poems you can look forward to from Heidi Hahn. You've got The Lone Wolf, The Wealthy Beggar, Thoughtful, Resourceful, Challenging Times, Rock Solid, Forgive to Forget, Suffer for Beauty, Uprising, In Pursuit of Life, and then her short story, Beauty is in the Eye of the Beholder. Perhaps let's start with the short story. What was your thought process behind it, and what is that short story about in just a little bit of a summary?
Well, the short story was actually explores the complex relationship between pain, creativity, and transformation. Because I think as writers, that's what we do. We transform our feelings into something beautiful, hopefully beautiful, and something artistic. So that short story explores that relationship, which is sometimes we need to destroy something needs to be destroyed in order to create something else. And through Calliope, which is the character in the story, I sought to explore the rawness of human emotion and the resilience in brokenness as well. I think sometimes we look at adversity as something bad, but out of that adversity, we can sometimes find our inner strength and, yeah, that resilience within us.
Okay, and with regards to your poetry, is there any connection between the 10 poems that you featured in the anthology, and maybe you could give us an idea of what that connection is and why you chose those poems to be featured in this year's edition?
Okay, the 10 poems, it's kind of like a story as well. It's a story in itself of discovering yourself. I think most of my poetry is centered around the theme of self-discovery, self-empowerment, resilience, overcoming obstacles. And these are themes that everybody experiences, no matter our situation. And it's also the duality between light and darkness, good and bad, right and wrong. how the two coexist, and how also to embrace both aspects of that within yourself. So it's very much a mindset collection of my mindset and the journey that I've been going through as well, which culminated in published all these published poems, short stories, and my poetry collection.
For anyone who wants to pick up a copy of the Multi-Marketing Anthology and purchase it, with regards to your poems and your short stories in here, who is the audience you're speaking to? Who should be reading your poems, and what do you hope they will gain from reading your poetry and your short story?
Okay, my poetry, I think my target audience is people in general. I think my themes are very universal. They speak about self-empowerment, self-realization, resilience in adversity. So I think it speaks to everyone in whatever your situation. It speaks about loss as well, and transforming negative situations into something powerful, something productive, something useful. So I hope when I write with the intention that my children can understand what I'm writing. And my 11-year-old, my children, they understand my poetry. So either that's a very high reading level, or or yeah, my poetry appeals to all age groups.
Indeed. So, last night I had an interview with Elia Ampata, and he mentioned how he has been featured in every single anthology. And I brought up your name as well. You've also been featured in every single anthology. And Elia Ampata has endeavored to be has endeavored to be in every single anthology going forward, as well as releasing his final big collection of poetry. With regards to you, we know that you're going to be releasing your own solo collection anthology of poems. Can readers of your work expect to see anything after that collection is released, with regards to future solo books and as well as being featured in future editions of the Multi-Marketing Anthology?
Well, no, shot. I hope to be a standing feature in the anthologies to come as well. I love being a part of the anthologies. I love the diversity of the authors. And this year we've got one of the youngest authors, I think, 11-year-old girl from Durban. So I love how it brings different flavors together as well, different age groups. And yeah, I hope to be a part of all the anthologies to come.
Indeed. This year we've got, I think, the largest collection of poets, short story writers, as well as artists. And like you mentioned, the youngest entry into the multi-marketing anthology, the 11-year-old Johara Sheikh from Durban. That's it. That's absolutely incredible. So when we started, I'm going to give the audience a little bit of a backstory. When we started the multi-marketing anthology, Heidi Hahn was one of the first poets that sent in their submissions, thanks to, I believe you got a heads up from Nasreen Varyawa, a editor based in Turkey. That's how you came to know about the anthology. And I remember you mentioned how you were skeptical at first. It felt too good to be true that this was actually something that was going to be happening. Now that you've been published 4 times over the anthology, and you've also been featured in other books such as Voices of Tebeha, how have people around you now reacted to the fact that you've been published so many times over in so many different publications?
Well, I think definitely I silenced the critics because they were. I think as a writer, everything is in your head until you put it down on paper and actually publish it. And I think also my children, I made a promise to them that I would achieve these goals to be a published author, and all the time that I spent writing, because it's time consuming as well. So I made a promise to them, and I've more than kept my promise. Now I just have to write a few short stories for my granddaughter, hopefully soon.
Indeed, sometimes children can be your biggest inspiration, and you're a real life true story of that. So, outside of poetry and writing, what do you think the future holds for you? What do you want to achieve going forward?
Going forward, I hope to print my poetry onto canvas as well, because I don't know if you can see behind me, no shot. I've actually printed it onto canvas already, and
Yeah.
that's cool. I would like people to have like physical canvas, yeah, something beautiful, artwork as well. So that's where I see it going, uh, in different sizes, in different designs. So I hope to go into that very soon.
I like that idea of having your poetry on canvas, because there's a saying that a picture says 1,000 words. Yet with your poetry, 1,000 words can create a picture. So it's almost like you're reverse engineering artwork. That's absolutely incredible. I've never heard of that before. You now being a published author so many times over, what advice would you give to other up and coming poets and short story writers?
Is to read. I mean that I think the best writers read a lot. So I think you need to broaden your scope of reading. Sorry, I just want to. So read a lot and journal every day, even if it's a few minutes a day, journal, and get into some groups as well. I've actually had somebody approach me a few months ago to ask me how to start writing, how to become published, and I did forward your contact details to her, and I suggested that she submit her work to the 2026 anthology. So keep writing, keep reading, and yeah, just fill yourself with the type of material that you want to produce. I think that's very important as well.
And we do thank our poets and short story writers who obviously put a word out and try and encourage other authors and poets to obviously get involved and get their work out there as well. So giving a little shout out to Amartle Class. I know that's the author you were referring to. I hope that we will see her poetry in 2026's multi-marketing anthology. Now, within the pages of the anthology, your links are here, your social medias where people can find you. But for those who don't have the copy yet, where can people find your poetry?
Um, right, Nashad, my links are www.writingsfromtheheart.co.za, on Facebook at Heidi Hahn, and Instagram is Heidi Hahn Poetry.
Okay, so I think it's only after we give people a taste of the poetry that you have featured in the multi-marketing anthology, so that it might encourage someone who likes your work to purchase a copy of the book and, support 21 plus poets and short story writers as well as artists, and enjoy the poetry and the words that are within the anthology. So without any further ado, Heidi Hahn, choose one of your poems and take it away.
Okay, thoughtful. I thought I had to stay small. I thought I had to give others my all. I believed that I was not worthy, and so withheld from myself my own mercy. I thought that I was undeserving. I thought that I was selfish, if not others, always serving. I believed that I was destined to struggle. So like a clown, I was my pain would constantly juggle. These inner beliefs have never brought me ease or relief. With all these twisted ideas and incorrect childhood fears I had residing inside, of course I wanted to hide. Now only an inner mind shift can reveal my own hidden gifts that I from myself have to steal. I understand that my beliefs can be changed. I understand that what once seemed so strange was all my ego's tricks of the trade to keep me small and my soul to degrade, so that I never could see all that I can truly be, so that I always play small, all because I was afraid that I might fall. And so it is.
And so it is. I always love that line because that's like a signature of your poetry. So, guys, that was thoughtful. It is one of the poems by Heidi Hahn featured in the Multi Marketing Anthology 2025. You can get a copy, physical copy from mmstore.co.za, as well as an ebook if you prefer digital. We have one comment from a viewer down below. I believe you know this person, Mohan. He says, "Well done, mommy. We're all proud of you." So you have a lot of supporters there. Um, so, as we close off, I don't see any questions. Do you have any closing remarks for everyone who's watching?
I just want to thank whoever did join, and thank the viewers, thank the readers, my readers. I have a lot of readers based all over the world. So I just want to thank all my readers and followers for motivating me as well, and to keep doing what I love. And I hope that they will buy the books, which is the main thing.
Indeed. Indeed. So they can go on to mmstore.co.za, get a copy of the Multi-Marketing Anthology 2025 in physical paperback or an ebook, whichever they prefer. For everyone who's watching, thank you all for joining us this afternoon for the fourth annual interview with the four-time published poet and short story writer Heidi Hahn. Thank you, Heidi, for joining us this evening to speak about your work. And for everyone who's watching, we'll see you all down the road. Peace.